turning curve. That's number 2. Okay, move it back. Third, gratuitous use of the excess pavement and curbing on the exit. Okay, usually that just masks errors in the geometry of the way the course and the corner was taken. Now, there's a lot of skid marks. And this is where people track out, and again, another place where grass never truly grows because that right rear gets on the dirt and then the car loses traction and rotates forward. That's why the tire wall is over there. Now, we are rising. We are climbing from the track out. But really soon, we're going to start falling away. Really soon. The original width of the track was this seam right here. And I like this seam because it tells me and gives me a very good idea of where my turn-in should be. Okay? So what happens is, before the track was repaved in 2013, in December 2013, this asphalt was not here. It ended at this seam. Now if I drew a bead and the right side of the car was parallel with this seam, it took me to where I needed to be to turn in. And I just turned when the pavement ran out. So it helps discipline me to stay right, because as I increase my exit speed from 3, this becomes more of a challenge. And this is actually not as slow a corner as people think. But again, a lot of people adopt the DE line, which is fine. But by backing up the turn-in just a little bit, looking at the apex as an area rather than as a point, you can really roll a lot of speed into it because you're going uphill. So one of the reference points that I use to draw a sight picture is I draw lines perpendicular to the direction of travel across the width of the track from the beginning of the inside curve. So at turn 3, 2 car lengths before the beginning of the inside curve, just like here, 2 car lengths before the beginning of the inside curve, I draw a line perpendicular to the direction of travel across the width of the road, right where they are. My right wheel leaves the right edge of the road. So again, the idea here is you're trying to say, okay, how can I turn in at the same point all the time? You can actually see people putting their wheel off right here. You can see, again, the ubiquitous chuck hole. The quickest folks are where they need to be to open the entry of this radius. You will see a huge amount of camber gain as you approach the apex here. The problem is, most people aren't patient enough. So they end up crabbing it and they pick up the apex curving too soon. What it does is it pushes them outside the bowl and on top of the rise between 4A and 4B. So the most important thing you need to realize is don't exit right of center here. Again, you want to pick up the curbing. You want to pick up the curbing right about the drain. This was a drain. There's a white PVC pipe here. Now, we're going to drive up to 11 and Oak Tree because that is the next really most important corner you all need to spend time on. Because we're going to start at 11 and 12 tomorrow. Because of all my analysis of what people do here, they pick up the most amount of time here, 4A, 4B, 5A. They pick up the next most amount of time, or actually the biggest chunk of time, in 11 and 12, the turn leading to Oak Tree and Oak Tree. And then the last place they make it is 16A, go down the roller coaster to the left, and then the right into Hobby. So if you work on any portion of the track, and Ross Bentley has that great comment, how do you eat an elephant? This track is an elephant. One bite at a time. So this is really, really important. You can see the massive camber gain, but by the time you get to the end of the sealer, it is going to dump you. It is going to screw you. And it's going to love doing it. Now, when you turn to the right, what happens is you have good grip to the right, but then the road begins to fall away again. And you pick up this massive undershoot. So if you are early on 4B curbing, if you pick up the curbing,
pulls up
at the point where it juts out most in the road, and you're not on the back side of that curbing, more parallel with the short straight, you have to wait on the throttle. You're stuck. You're done. And the goal would be fast hands. Slow corners, fast hands. So we're going to fast hands into 1. We're going to do slow hands into 3. We're going to do fast hands into 4A and fast hands into 4B. Slow hands into 5A and then going up the hill. And when you go up the hill, it starts gently with a bend to the left through 7, quicker to the right, and then release and go over the jump with no skewing into it. That's turn 8. You make a straight line for 8A, follow the curbing around to the left to open 9, turn right on 9, let the car wash out to mid-track, come back over to the right, rush the brake, off the brake, back to power, turn in for 10. Get you at 11.